Good evening. All right. Almost good morning. How's everybody doing? Good. I mean, come on. How's everybody doing? Okay. You know what? Just really proud of that kind of when you play that hard. It's great to see that type of, the reward is that you win the football game. So what's obvious to say is that we had some brilliant moments and we had some other ones where we shot ourselves in the foot. But overall, our guys they made it a point, and it was the message for the week that on every single down, we were going to find a way to show everyone in the stadium and everyone on the field that this game was more important to us than it was for them. And not taking a shot at them, because that's a really good football team and they're coached really well. But the passion that our guys played with to close out Autzen for the 18th season and to play like that for our seniors, I think really proud of those football players in there. They earned that victory.
Questions?
Mm-hmm.
Right middle, James.
Not to start off the bad, Mario, but 4 turnovers, in particular one late. They get 17 points. Yes, you get the takeaway there after the last one, but
yeah.
How frustrating was it at all during the course of the game where you were really outplaying them, especially in the first half, and you
Extremely.
let them hang around that much and have to sweat it out there in the final minutes?
No doubt. It's extremely frustrating. On one of them, we had a play call that's going to be a touchdown, and we turn it over. So those things are fixable, but like you said, they're frustrating. A couple of them inexcusable. I think when we got rolling pretty good, and we had a couple times we didn't get the ball rolling, I think we started pressing. I think you could see it in our players. We dropped some balls, and we made some critical errors that ended up being turnovers. So it was good at the end there to get the first down. And to hold in there on the snap count as well. We figured we had to take a chance right there and see if we could get a first down and get the clock to wind down. So, ended up on a positive. But like you said, certainly some frustrating moments with the turnovers.
Right here on the right, second row, Ken.
Hey, offensively, you look really strong first half, especially, that drive right at the end of the second quarter, very impressive. Only 3 points in the second half. Sort of what were they? Did they change what they were doing defensively, or what happened there? Not
much at all. We felt that we could execute and continue staying along the path of the momentum that we had going in the first half. We had some miscues, and I think some of them are obvious. I think you watch them on tape. We had some, potential touchdown go right through us. Another play that we had called that, I don't want to get into it because we might want to save it, but we just didn't execute well enough. Some of their adjustments, when they started slanting the defensive front to the boundary, it hurt our outside zone, so we started running inside zone in some of our gap schemes, and we got some pretty good plays out of that. And I thought both Travis and CJ, they ran hard. I think they ran hard. When Tony got in there, he ran hard as well. So there was some minor adjustment stuff, but they made some plays in man coverage as well. We tried to run some of those stop routes. They made a play on a slant on third down as well. And then we missed on a check down on a third down. So those are 3 third downs that we gave away an opportunity to keep the sticks moving. But
you can look back to last week and even the Washington State game where it seems like if you guys would have just had a little bit more time or maybe gotten one of those touchdowns at the end of the first half, you guys could have been right there in it. Mm-hmm. Today they go down and score, but you guys score on that drive with 50 seconds left. Just how much of a momentum boost was that for you guys converting on that? Huge.
Our guys were determined on that drive to get the momentum back. And the way that they approached, when we came over there, after the kickoff and the kickoff return, I should say, the look in their eye, that what they were verbalizing to each other, it was awesome. There was a legitimate, just great look in their eye. They wanted it, and they went and executed and got it. And especially that last play, because that's, you need some great perimeter blocking for that play to work. And those guys, our receivers overall, did a great job on the perimeter blocking for most of the evening. Really got physical, knocked some guys back. And we got a lot of plays on the edges because they do so much, stuff inside that you have to. So it's a big time drive.
Back right, Bree.
You had a lot of contributors on offense tonight between Herbert, Verdell, Dye, Mitchell, Red. How encouraging was your fast start? And how would you describe those brilliant moments that you kind of mentioned earlier?
Yeah, we got rolling, and we got rolling quickly. It started with the ground game. I don't know how many times we threw it in the first drive, but it seemed like we ran it almost every single play. But that's the type of of football that we got accustomed to playing the first half of the season. It's more the trademark and the identity that we want for our football team, particularly our offense. And when we have that kind of momentum going, it's hard to stop us. We just need to continue that, and we have to. If we get stopped, let it be because it's a great play by the defense, not because we're committing an error or a mistake or turn the ball over. So, but yeah, it's what we want to be, and we're going to keep grinding on it to keep improving it.
Have you seen signs in practice or even previous games that Gus Cumberlander was ready for a game like this? Because he was a huge impact in that second half.
We have, and we were he was a little bit doubtful before this game. But early in the season, in camp, I would say, especially in one-on-one pass rush, he's got such long levers. I mean, have you stood beside him? Try that after, I'm sure you guys will have him in here. He's all of 6'7", and he gets his hands on you. It's hard to keep him, it's hard to contain him as a pass protector. And what he did, he used those long arms, got full extension, got rid of blockers, and made some enormous plays. And I think Gus is just scratching the surface. I think his best football is all ahead of him.
Last year, ASU went at Thomas Graham a lot, especially with Harry. How do you feel like he did today? They targeted him a lot of times. He had a lot of deflections in this game.
Oh, man, I can't speak enough about Thomas, about Diamador, Ugo, all that. I saw McGraw go back there and make some plays as well. Nick Pickett, those guys. And again, like you mentioned, you watched last year on how they literally went right at him on consecutive downs, as a matter of fact. And so many times they were challenged tonight, and whether it was a pass breakup or forcing a tough throw. I mean, Harry's a big guy. I mean, he's all of 6'4" plus. I thought those guys played outstanding, and they were one of the biggest keys to the game.
Second row right here, Al.
Going off of that question, can you just talk about how Thomas Graham and Diamador Lenore have been able to elevate their game throughout the season?
Well, I think the first thing to keep in mind, these guys are true sophomores. So in most programs, they'd be redshirt freshmen, right? And just kind of working their way into the lineup. Well, they've got a lot of experience. So as 18, 19-year-old guys, they're kind of seasoned a little bit now. And throughout spring football and the entire season, I think what you've seen is a couple guys just work at their craft. Both Coach Dante Williams and Coach Hayward. They do an exceptional job with that position group, and technique is at a premium every time they step out on the practice field, and it's starting to show.
This seemed to be one of Jalen's more productive games, especially in the first half. What specifically about his skill set excited you in the first half?
About
Jalen Reds?
Oh, Jalen Red. Okay, I didn't know you were talking about Jalen Red or Jalen. I'm excited about Jalen Jokes too. We could talk about him. Jalen Red he's new school, but I mess with him. I call him old school because he reminds me of the guys I used to be in the locker room with. He is hard-nosed, tough guy. Wants the ball, wants to make plays, is unselfish. I don't know what he weighs, $128 or whatever he weighs, but no, he weighs more than that. But he will throw his body around with reckless abandon to make a great block for his teammates. Unselfish guy, motivated guy. Ever since the spring, he's just been on fire in terms of his work ethic and dedication and commitment to the team and his betterment. So extremely excited about the different ways you could get him the ball too. I mean, he's, in high school, he was a nickel. He was a corner. He played running back. I mean, he did it all. And I think today, he showed a lot of things that he's capable of.
Right here, Tyson.
Between running the ball to start the game, you guys were also mixing in a lot of really kind of short dink and dunk passes. But then, in kind of spreading it out a lot more, not going to Mitchell. But then there was that long connection from Herbert to him where he gave a little pump off to the side, and I think the DB bit just a little bit and giving him enough separation. Mm-hmm. Is that just as kind of like as satisfying as it gets, like from an offensive point of view, just seeing that, they kind of bit to the plan that you guys were establishing, and then it opened up something? Well,
one of them was just straight. I think they were playing zero. He ran by him. I think the other one talked about the screen pass we sent out. No, it's a big deal because you have to beat that coverage with something of that nature. So to see those guys just continue to get to be on the same page and be able to connect like they do, it's a great feeling. And those are two other guys and I know they've had a lot of production this year, but their best football's ahead of them too. Those guys are doing a real good job.
Middle. Sorry.
when rush defense has been such an emphasis these last few weeks, Mario, I know you're not probably going to be too happy for 29 for 149 for Benjamin, but as a team, this was one of their lesser productive nights on the ground. He does get to you a bit in the second half, in particular one of those late drives. What did you think about the defense as a whole against him?
Yeah, I don't have the first half. I thought in the first half did a great job containing him. They made him bounce the ball, strung it out, chased him down. In the second half, they started implementing some of their fullback lead runs. I don't know if you saw that, versus the odd front. They started fanning the guard and the tackle and putting that big old heavy fullback on our will a couple times. So they made a little bit of some good gains in that particular scheme. And then I thought, we started tightening up a little bit as well. Super proud of the way they played against the run. That team has run the ball extremely effectively against everybody they've played. They came here with a lot of momentum as well, and I thought the defense, I know they made their moments, they made their big plays on offense, but I thought our defense for the most part did a really good job against the run.
Back middle, Hayden.
Hard to believe we're at the final week of the season now, but with one less day, with the game being on Friday, does your game preparation change at all with one fewer day?
It has to, because of the nature of the amount of guys that we have that are banged up. It has to. And then it's almost a 2-day type of shorter week for us, because we played late and we play early on Friday. So there's not much time. And our whole goal was to walk in the locker room tonight at 11:30 and be 1-0. And we, ironically, it was 11:30 by the time we finished talking to the team. But we also knew that we were going to have to immediately just get our rest tonight, see our families, go get a big stack of pancakes and an omelet, and wake up bright and early and get ready to go to work. And for the most important game of the year, which is, the Civil War, and it's at their place. And we understand, we all fully understand the importance of this football game, the intensity behind it. And I think our guys, as they leave the locker room, that's all they were talking about. And that part gets me excited. And what we all know, we have to play on the road more like we play at home, right? That's got to be the next step for the program. We found it one time out there in Cal. We showed, glimpses of it against Utah. We showed it in the second half a little bit against Washington State, but we haven't put it together on the road. And that's a challenge, and that's what we're looking forward to.
All right, we have time for just one more right here front, Matt.
Arizona State was the best offense on third downs in the conference. They averaged, I think, 8 yards of third down in this game. What do you make of your defense of just getting in third and longs and then making the plays to stop them?
Well, they got after him. They got from across the board. I mean, the defensive secondary, who just played tremendously tight coverage, really effective coverage. The guys up front causing pressures, forcing a fumble. I thought we had a fumble in the first half. Broke my headset. But that's for another day. I'm sure I'll answer some questions on that. But no, it just hats off to the defense. They did a great job. Great job.
Thank you, Coach.
Guys, thank you. Appreciate you. Go Ducks.